Welcome to the deep dive. Ever feel like some English words just, well, pop up everywhere?
Oh, definitely. Some are just unavoidable.
Exactly. So today we're going to be laser focused on the real workhorses of the language. We're talking about common English verbs used in everyday conversations.
The ones you hear constantly.
Yeah. Think of this as understanding the engine of English. Our mission today is really to give you the essential verbs so you can get a better feel for navigating those daily interactions.
Sounds like a plan. These are crucial for fluency.
We've been looking at some material highlighting these core verbs for, plastical communication. So let's dive in.
Okay. Where should we start? Maybe with the absolute most basic.
Good idea. Let's start there.
Right. So when you're building confidence in English, the verb to be is truly fundamental, really foundational.
To be. Okay. Seems simple, but where does its real power lie? Can you give us a key example?
Well, consider something like, I am lost. It's such a basic phrase, right?
Yeah, very common.
But it conveys a core state of being and, a situation lots of people find themselves in.
Yeah.
What's interesting is how that single form am links I to the state of being lost.
Right. So it's not just about existing, but describing how you exist or feel in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next verb that's absolutely crucial?
Okay, next up, let's talk about to have. Now, this one's interesting because it covers more than just possession.
Mm-hmm.
It also deals with experiences and conditions.
Interesting. So it's not just I have a dog or I have a car.
Exactly.
Give us some other ways we commonly use to have.
Well, think about, I have a big problem. That expresses a current situation, right? Not ownership.
Right, yeah.
Or even, I have a headache. It's about what you're experiencing right now.
So it's much broader than just holding on to something physically.
Precisely.
Speaking of relatable problems, who hasn't said, I have a huge AG problem? There's no coffee this morning.
A truly universal feeling. But yeah, what to have really shows us is how one single verb can paint quite different pictures depending on the context.
Okay, caffeine crises aside, what's our next essential verb on the list?
Let's move on to go. This one seems pretty straightforward movement, right?
Yeah, seems simple enough.
But it also commonly expresses future intentions. That's key.
Like, let's go. That's a call to action.
Yep.
Or, I'm going to work, stating a destination, but yeah, also a future plan.
Precisely. And here's a really important point for sounding natural. In spoken English, going to very, very often becomes gonna.
Ah, yes, the classic informal shortcut. So something like, I'm going to watch a movie tonight instead of I am going to watch.
Exactly. Knowing that gonna means going to is just essential for understanding people and sounding more comfortable yourself.
Makes sense. Good tip. Okay, what's next?
Okay, now let's tackle a verb that truly pulls its weight. To get. This one has a bit of a reputation,
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, for having a ton of different meanings. It's incredibly versatile.
To get the chameleon of verbs. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
It does feel like it can mean almost anything sometimes. Can you give us a few examples? Highlight its versatility.
Sure. So think about, I got a new phone. That means to receive or obtain something, right?
Yeah, obtain.
Then you have, it's getting cold. That indicates a change of state. It wasn't cold, now it is, or is becoming cold.
Right, a transition.
And then we use it all the time for feelings or states.
Mm-hmm.
Get happy, get tired, get better. These are all different kinds of transitions or changes.
So maybe the core idea is some kind of change or acquiring something.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah. A shift or acquisition. Like get is about movement or change in a broader sense than just physical movement.
That helps clarify it a bit. It's everywhere. Okay. What's next on our list of verbs we just can't live without in English?
The next essential is to do. Now, while it definitely signifies performing an action like I do my homework, it's also super important as what we call an auxiliary verb.
The helper verb.
Exactly. Especially when you're forming questions in English.
Ah, right. The helper verb for questions. How does to do work its magic there? Can you break that down?
Well, consider asking someone, what do you do? Meaning, what's your job or profession?
Okay.
Here, do is essential to actually form the question structure correctly in the present simple. Same with, what are you doing? Which asks about a present activity right now.
Right.
See how do or doing steps in. It's often used when we don't have another helping verb like is or can right at the start of the question, especially in present simple and past simple tenses.
That makes the why of using do in questions much clearer. Okay. Now, what about the verb for when we're, creating something, building something?
That would generally be to make.
Hmm.
It implies creating, constructing, producing something.
Seems straightforward enough. Like, I made a cake.
Exactly. Simple example. Though, you might playfully ask someone, especially if the cake looks suspiciously perfect.
Ah.
Did you really make it or did you just buy it?
The age-old question for any impressive homemade treat. Okay, we're getting near the end of our core list. What are the last essential verbs we really need to understand?
The final pair we should definitely look at are to say and to tell. Now, both involve expressing words,
Right.
obviously.
Talking.
Yeah. But there's a subtle yet really important difference in how we use them. It trips people up sometimes.
Okay, let's try and nail down that distinction between say and tell. What's the key difference we need to remember?
Okay, think of it this way. You generally say something. The focus is on the words themselves, the utterance.
Okay, tell you something.
For instance, she said hello. The focus is on the word hello.
Got it.
On the other hand, you usually tell someone something. The emphasis is on conveying information to a specific person.
Ah, so there's a recipient involved.
Exactly, like he told me a secret.
Hmm.
The key with tell is that it usually needs an indirect object, the person being told.
Yep.
You tell someone.
So say is more about the utterance itself, and tell is about the communication to someone specific. That distinction is actually really helpful.
Precisely. And, what you tell someone can be quite significant. You might even jokingly exaggerate and say something like, he told me everything.
The ultimate overshare. Okay, brilliant. Let's do a quick recap then. What are those 8 essential verbs we've covered today?
Okay. The big 8 are be, have, go, get, do, make, say, and tell.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Be, have, go, get, do, make, say, tell. Getting comfortable with just those 8 verbs really feels like a huge step towards, smoother English conversations.
It truly is. They form the foundation, the absolute bedrock for so many common expressions. Using them correctly will definitely make your English sound much more natural.
And for you, our listeners who want to really cement this, really get these verbs down, what's a good way to practice?
Well, a really effective exercise, I think, is to try and create a short, mini story using only these 8 verbs.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it challenges you to think creatively, but using just these fundamental building blocks.
That's a great idea. Can you give us a quick example of what that kind of mini story might sound like just to get people started?
Sure, absolutely. Imagine something like this. I am tired. I have homework. I go to my room. I do my work. Then I get hungry. So I make a sandwich. I say, finally, and I tell my mom I'm done.
Huh. That sounds like a pretty universal student experience, doesn't it?
Pretty much.
It's amazing how much you can actually communicate with just those core verbs.
It really underscores their fundamental nature, yeah? They are just central to everyday English.
So there you have it, your essential English verb toolkit ready to go. Now it's really your turn to put them into action.
Yeah, absolutely. We really encourage you to practice using these English verbs in your daily life. Seriously, the more you use them, the more intuitive they'll become.
It just becomes second nature after a while, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And if you found this deep dive helpful and, want more insights into the nuts and bolts of English, please do subscribe to The Deep Dive. And please share this discussion with anyone else you know who's learning English. It might just be the boost they need.
Definitely. Keep practicing, keep exploring.
And most importantly, try to enjoy the process of learning and communicating in English.
Well said. Until our next deep dive.